Welcome to the Rebirth. It's your girl, Shay Marriott. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. It's your boy, Eli Isabel, a.k.a. The South. Got something to say. Shay, what up, though?
What's up, man? It's another rainy Monday. Why has it been raining every Monday? What is going on?
I don't know what that's. Well, it's coming into that season, you know.
Yeah, but before the season, it was raining.
It has been raining.
It has been raining.
Your grass looking crazy out there?
Little bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tis the season.
Yeah, I'm excited. Spring is coming. So how are you guys doing? Welcome to the Rebirth. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes.
Happy belated Resurrection Day, Easter, however you guys, whatever you say. But I hope you guys had a great holiday.
Yes.
Yeah.
How was your holiday?
My holiday was good. I spent most of my time this weekend in the yard.
Okay.
So if you know me, you know that I love being outside when it gets warm. And I love being in my oasis, as I call it, aka the she. You call it the she shed, but I love being in my oasis and relaxing. So I spend a lot of time there and just preparing for the warm weather, you know.
Trying to bring it in,
trying to bring it in. I did get a chance to go celebrate two of my closest friends birthdays, and they happen to be husband and wife. So shout out to Rochelle and Barada, author. Happy birthday to you guys again. You know them.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yes.
Happy anniversary.
Birthday. It was both of that. So it's Barada's birthday today.
Oh, wow.
And Rochelle's birthday was a couple of days ago. And we went to the W in Philadelphia and we had a good time.
Big things, man.
Yeah. Yep. We had a great time. So happy birthday to you guys again. Yep. So how was your weekend? What did you do?
I'm right now. I'm trying to turn the volume off on my laptop.
It's all good.
But however, my weekend was awesome.
Okay.
Church yesterday, of course, because that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on? Bear with me, people. So church yesterday.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm just gonna turn this off.
You've been doing really good, man. I said I was gonna come to your church and hang out, and I need to get back into going.
I like what you said.
Yeah.
My church.
Yeah,
it's
your
only
church.
A matter of time.
Yeah.
They got 3 locations, and one of them needs to be headed up by your boy.
Oh, okay.
I'll put that out there now.
What?
Speak it and let it be done.
Oh my goodness. Listen.
But yeah, man, it was nice. I really enjoyed it. You know what I enjoyed the most? The word is awesome, but you know what I enjoyed the most?
What's that?
I'm in and out in 60 minutes.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest
and that's important to you because you bring that up often.
Yeah, I don't got 3 hours no more to give.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord know my heart. Between that and that hour, I think we can persevere. We'll push through.
Yeah. So why do you think that why do you think it take that long to praise God and worship God?
Well, knowing what I know now, this 12 Sundays, they don't. Now, I think how we do everything according to tradition.
Uh-huh.
Why do people put eggs in a potato salad?
Oh,
because well, Granny
aren't you supposed to?
But
I'm saying better like that.
It does, but my point is somebody started that and it got handed down.
Oh,
and we just do it out of habit.
Okay.
I think that's the same with religion. I think we do most things out of habit.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
It's passed down to us.
Absolutely. I agree.
I think that's why church is 3 hours.
I agree.
Black church.
Okay. The black church. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, guys, welcome to the Rebirth. Listen, right now, please like and share. Come on, guys, like and share. We have an amazing show coming up. We have Dr. Angela Brown is going to be joining us. So listen, anything you need to know about health, you want to tune in. So make sure you share this video. Somebody needs to hear it, okay? But before we get to Dr. Brown, the South got something to say.
Always. All right, before we get started, y'all, welcome to tonight's segment of the South Got Something to Say. Man, I have some things that have been just on my spirit about this young lady. But before I get into my dialogue, I want to have a video clip for you to kind of give what I'm going to say some context. So if we can have our super producer do what she does.
I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
Well, that's the you wouldn't have done that. You wouldn't have. You wouldn't have done that before.
That's not an immediate.
No, you wouldn't have done that before.
That's not who I am. That's not what I believe.
It is the reality the left has created. So you can see why the left loved that clip and why they're now calling Charlie Kirk, who I worked for and with for years, an avowed racist. He says that that's going to be his first thought if he sees a black pilot. And you know what? I said the exact same thing on this show just a couple of weeks ago. I remarked that now when I even am watching a commercial, if I see a commercial and I see a black person, an Hispanic person, an Asian person, my thought process is, did they just get this because DEI? I no longer think the person is qualified. Way back when, just a few short years ago, when I used to watch movies and I used to see a black character, I always just thought it's because he's a great actor. Denzel Washington, one of the greatest actors of our.
All right. So Miss Candace Owens, who is a conservative, a right-wing conservative pundit, I'm gonna call her. She continues to make statements and share her thoughts, and it's always against her own people. She has this whole issue with diversity, equity, and inclusion. And it baffles me, much like affirmative action. She's also railed against that. So Candace's her level of ignorance toward her people is what gets me. I low-key expect white people or people of other races to maybe have this thought or opinion. But do you know how much harder that pilot had to work to get where he is? He or she to get where they are? She has to understand that, and she has to understand that there's no way he or she is sitting in that cockpit because of DEI. And it's because of their hard work, intelligence, and ability to fly this plane, frankly. When I see black people in an industry or career that we haven't traditionally been a part of, it makes me proud. Instead, she pokes holes in it and what it took for them to get there. Shame on you, Candace Owens. She was most recently on the Breakfast Club, and I hear a lot of black people saying, oh, we like her now. She made some valid points. She did. She made a couple of valid points. However, does her self-hating rhetoric, that she constantly spews when it comes to people who look like her, eliminates my support for her forever. Her comments about George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, affirmative action, and now DEI are just too much for me personally to overcome. So from my heart to your ears, F you, Candace Owens.
All right.
And the conservative train that you rode in on. We don't need you.
Choo-choo.
You're not invited to the cookout. You would never have a rib from the Isabel household. And you recently lost her job. And I hate that the Breakfast Club even gave her a platform to come and talk to people who look like her when you traditionally haven't. Yeah. Now you're unemployed. We don't want you back. Go over there to that cookout with Clarence Thomas and Stacey Dash, and y'all do what y'all do. That's what the South got to say.
All right. I am not. You ain't come to play, friend.
I meant that with my spirit.
I know you did. You said it with your chest. You said it with your chest.
But yeah, like I'm sick of her.
So I'm gonna say this because I watched that interview too, and the one thing that I took away from that interview was, because everybody know this, and when I say this, everybody that's here in the studio should be able to tell me what the callback is. Won't he do it?
Oh, she did not know that.
Won't he do it?
Yes, he will.
Won't he will? Yes, he will.
No,
she had no idea what that meant.
Was it that or Jesus? No, it was God is good.
God is good. Oh, it was God is good. Yeah. God is good. All the time. Yes. I was doing Deion Cole version of it. My bad. But
yeah, you tried.
God is good. And
all
the time, God is good. So she was baffled. She had no idea what it was.
Right. And she sung that whack version of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That did not give you any. No, you're still not coming.
Yeah.
To the cookout.
Okay, so in all seriousness, I did see that interview, but I saw the pilot. She was referring to an African American female who was driving this plane, and everybody that commented on that I saw, they were pilots. So I believe this was on Twitter. They were pilots, and they said, I see nothing wrong what she's doing. She's doing everything, the protocol, everything is right. So the only issue, and these were like white people. They wasn't even black people. They were saying everything this pilot was doing was correct.
Right.
So the only issue was because she was black and she was a woman.
Yeah. what part of her does not see that black woman up there and not have a sense of pride?
But so let's think about this. This is not just a Candace Owen thing. This is something that I feel we do in our communities, and it's not cool at all.
Right. I agree, Shay, but
Mhm.
98% of us in our community don't have a platform to spew this to.
Right.
And look at her audience. Her
Right.
audience is largely a white audience, right wing Republican conservative people. So she is
Mhm.
reinforcing all negative stereotypes about our people. Like,
Mhm.
how do we overcome those negative stereotypes if you have a black person reinforcing it, not a white person saying it,
Absolutely. I
or
agree.
Asian or whoever, but another black person
I agree.
who sued her high school when she was in high. She sued them for racism and won up in
Wow.
Stamford, Connecticut. So
Wow.
this, and this is a young lady that said that this country racism doesn't exist. She has a white husband, and she functions in a completely different world than most of us do.
Mhm.
So I'll say this: she made some okay points on the Breakfast Club, but it does not alleviate everything you said in the past. For me, it doesn't.
Yeah.
People who want to follow her, hey, follow her. Even listen, the devil was even in heaven at one point in time. So we have to be careful of who we listen to and what we take in. And anybody who is against people who look like me, I can't rock with you. You never
Yeah.
have nothing positive to say.
Yeah. I agree. I
So
agree with you on that. Thank you. So say that one more time in the camera. What you say?
if you can, this own.
Hey.
Oh, not that part.
All right. No. I'm saying you good. Yeah, you good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, the South has something to say, and you definitely said it tonight.
Indeed. Thank
Thank
y'all.
you guys. Thank you
Yes.
guys for tuning in. If you have not liked and shared the video, please do that now. Shout out to Levante and Corey. Thank you guys for tuning in. Tonight, guys, we have an amazing show. Listen, get your pen and paper, get your questions together because we have the doctor is in the building. The doctor's in the building. How about you introduce
Man,
this lovely queen to us?
I'm gonna do my best. And when she comes on, because I want her to get all of her props. I want her to
Yes.
get all the accolades, everything she's done to get here. Candace Owens, and we're so proud to have another, just a African American in a position that they said we couldn't be in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
listen, y'all. Tonight, we have my primary care physician
That's
in the
right.
building, y'all. Please give it up for Dr. Angela Davis Brown is in the building.
Yay! Hey! Look, she got the
Coming in with the fist. Right. That's right.
You know, I got me all fired up with that. Like my heart is racing. Like, are you kidding me? Because I had never seen that clip. I wasn't involved in that. And let me just say, I was named after Angela Davis. I was named by the activists in the 70s who were following that. And part of my journey that I'm on in life now is that coming
Keep
out
going.
of me.
Keep
So
going.
Dr. Brown,
Can you hear me?
thank you and welcome to the Rebirth Show. Can you just give people a little background about yourself for these young black and brown girls that are watching you, these young black and brown boys that are watching tonight who may see it later on YouTube or wherever? Give them a little background about yourself and what it took for you to get to where you are today.
Thank you. I was so busy already talking. My bad. Yes.
Okay, so while I believe we are having a little bit of issues, but we're going to keep it moving until we're able to get Dr. Brown back on.
Can you hear me?
Bear with us, y'all. Okay.
I definitely think that it's going to be important for us to have this conversation, especially with Dr. Brown, her credentials and whatever that she may have encountered in regards to.
I'm gonna be probably most proud of. I think that when people see Dr. Brown, they see the possibility. I think our kids, they see the possibility. There's only 300 NBA jobs. I think 420 NBA jobs between 30 some teams.
Yeah.
We have to do more, and we have to start pushing our kids toward the medical field, toward mental health, towards the arts. We don't all have to be Puff Daddy, Jay-Z, or Gucci Mane.
Right. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Okay.
Doc, do I need to repeat my question? Where did we lose you?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Okay, so I missed a little bit of it, but what I was saying was I wish I'm glad that I heard the conversation, but it got me all riled up when Eli started talking about Candace Owens, and I didn't see that interview, so it was all fresh and raw for me. And please
Yes.
understand, I was named after Angela Davis by activists in the 70s. I was born
Wow.
Wow.
into activism. Like I was raised by that. I'm gonna just put it out there. I'm 52 years old. I went through years of school to become a physician, right? 26 to
Mm-hmm.
be exact. 26 years old when I finally graduated and still had
Wow.
to train for 3 years. And at that point, I started having children and practicing medicine and doing the things. Well, my children are older now. They're 17 and 22. And now that I'm at that point in life where I'm starting to look at myself, my life, what I'm here for, and where I'm going, it is that, right? Social
Mm-hmm.
injustice. And it is across the board. And I would bet $1 that Miss Candace Owens from Connecticut is not living the life that she posts. There's no way she's
Mm-hmm.
married to a white man and
Yeah.
not feeling it because she's the first and
Right.
she's in a world that doesn't suit her. She's not posting it or talking about it because it's probably not profitable or going to get the views
Mm-hmm.
she wants. But there's no way she's that. That's delusional. She can't be, right? Because I know, just like I'm first, she's first, right? We're
Mm-hmm.
all first in our own
Yeah.
way. But to be first in one of these fields, and I had gotten to a point in life where I was like, I'm tired of being first. Uncle, I give it was a it was a trophy at first, but I'm tired of it. I don't want to be the first, the only. This is not
The
fun.
pressure, right?
Oh, gosh, the microaggressions, the all the
Yes.
stuff we
Yes.
deal with. I was recently at a Black History program, and there was a woman there, Dr. Shauna Ross from Independence Blue Cross, and she is a family practitioner in charge of their diversity, equity, and inclusion and disparities in healthcare. And she said, we have now a name for what we go through, and it's called racial fatigue, right?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That
Wow.
thing
Yep.
of having to be like at work, I have to be Dr. Brown all day. And there's some things that are said to me
Yes.
all day long by any type of person that want to bring out Angie from Philly. Not that she could fight,
Right.
but sometimes
Right.
in my head I could, right? But I can't do
That's
that.
right.
And then I have
Right.
my short little ride home, and then this house full of, I'm the only girl in my house. I have 2 sons and a husband, and I got to be there for them. So by the
Yes.
end of the night, I'm tired. We all are.
Yeah.
I know it.
So,
I know it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. For sure. Go ahead.
So Dr. Brown, if you can give us a little bit, just a little backstory, like what led you into this career field? Do you come from a long line of doctors in your family? Like, how did you? At what point did you know you wanted to be a doctor?
Yeah, like I said, I'm first. I was first wanting to go to grad school in my family, first wanting to become a doctor, all those things. But I really thought, and I knew I was going to be first at something. Like my parents instilled in me, you are Angela Davis, you're going to be the first, right? The first, whatever. And so I was going to be the first Black woman on the moon until I was in the 10th grade, 1987, whatever that was, when the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded
Mm.
in
Wow.
front of us.
Yes.
I
Remember,
remember
it was
that.
like a
Yes.
big deal back then. It wasn't like we
Yes.
didn't have YouTube and all that. We watched it on TV in geometry class.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that thing
Yeah. I
exploded
remember
with
that.
7 teachers on it. And I was like, let me find a job here on Earth that I could do.
That was it for you.
And I always loved science and I love people. And I knew I could somehow combine it. And I actually didn't think I could be a doctor. I thought in my head, maybe, but I'm from Philly. I went to Philadelphia High School for Girls. And at that time, we were taught like how not to get pregnant and live your life. Because at that time, teen pregnancy, just like now.
Mhm.
It's a valuable
And
lesson.
on career day, they had a doctor come in and she was pregnant. And I was like, you could have a baby and be a doctor? Like I thought pregnancy was taboo for life. I didn't know. That's when I decided I'm gonna do that.
Wow. So it's definitely been, I'm sure it's been a journey. I'm sure you've been faced with a lot. Like you said, we talked about microaggressions and all of
Mhm,
that, but you persevered and you
mhm.
are a doctor here in
Yeah,
the state of Delaware, and
yeah.
is loved by many.
Yes.
And tonight you have a message for us. And again, guys, if you have not shared this video, make sure you share it because we want you to make sure if you have questions, the doctor is here. Okay. So whatever questions you have, make sure you put them in the chat, and we will make sure that we have time to be able to ask the doctor to see if we can get some of your questions answered tonight. So, Dr. Brown, can you tell us what we're going to be talking about tonight? Because this is important.
Yes, I talk about this every day, all day, with every patient all the time. And it is, how can you, from this point, be the healthiest you that you can be for the rest of your life? I want you strong, healthy, and independent as long as God has you on this earth. And I like to add to that, the day that you can't get up off the toilet by yourself, you are no longer independent. And nobody wants that, right? Like, you want your grandkids, your kids helping you off the toilet?
Right.
No.
Right.
Okay, so what can we do now to take care of that? And tying it all in, one of the things about that, when I say you're the first you, I mean it. There's never been another human being in your body. There's never been another human being live your life, have your voice even, right? We're all so unique. So you. And I need you to know and understand you. And I get 15 minutes with you, 2-3 times a year? So it's you're the best historian. You're the one who knows you. And even for me, learning that this racial fatigue, this emotional fatigue, this caregiving fatigue is part of who I am, how to handle it, channel it, and still be healthy and strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I know as a therapist, we experience what we call vicarious trauma, right?
Yes.
Just based off of whatever trauma that our clients have gone through.
Yep.
A lot of times those symptoms, and not just us as therapists, but anybody, we have physical symptoms, which we call somatic. It comes out, right? I would like to, can you shed some light on how anxiety shows up physically in the body? I talk about it from a mental health perspective, but what does that look like physically in the body? Anxiety or depression?
And so a couple things. Absolutely. And we all have a little. I always say the crazy people are the ones who don't know they're crazy. Right? I know. I got ADD, ODD, OCD, GAD, depression. Like, I got it all. SAD, right?
All the D's, huh?
I'm sick of the rain just like y'all, right? And it has every effect on every system. You tell me what you're feeling. Yep, that could be it. Same thing with menopause. We just did this thing on menopause. There's over 80 symptoms. And yes, we have, as physicians, been trained to call a lot of it somatic. But what I'm learning at this phase of my life is to unlearn a lot of what I was taught, because there is a whole lot of truth to these migraines and my stomach and the, palpitations, headaches, upset stomach, IBS. It's all connected, and they're all real physical symptoms of when you're overstressed, under-rested. And they can have a toll. This all takes a toll on your body, your mind, your brain, your stomach, your heart. And there's such thing as the mind-gut connection, right? So what we're putting in isn't working out with our whole mind-gut connection biome, and that throws off everything. So yeah, it's all real. You're not crazy unless you think you're not.
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
So Dr. Brown, as far as African Americans, us Black folk, what's probably
my people?
The people, that's right. What's probably the biggest health issue that you see that we face on a daily basis? What comes into your office the most?
What comes into my office is stress, honestly. And how stress manifests physically is inflammation. So an inflammation is the root cause of almost every single disease. Diabetes, hypertension, insomnia, all these things. And I was just at a physician's conference, and they asked us what the number one killer in America, like if you had to name which one it was, and we came up with all these things. It's actually hypertension.
Oh, wow.
And I get a lot of people who sit in a chair and they're like, oh, it's just elevated because I was rushing here. Oh, it's just, no, your blood pressure is your life. It's the first thing we learn in medical school. Vital signs are vital. right? If your vital signs
Mhm.
aren't right, neither are you. So, yeah.
Wow. You know,
And
the
I like
first
to
time I heard, I'm sorry,
go
go ahead,
ahead.
Doc. No, I was
I
gonna
always
say the first
explain to
time
people, I'm sorry. There's some kind of delay. I'm sorry, Eli. I'm not trying to cut you off. Please.
you
I
go. I'm
love
gonna let
you.
you talk. Go.
To understand, I like for my patients to understand what that means. What is your blood pressure? Your blood pressure is how hard your heart has to pump to get blood to go into the rest of your body, into your arteries. And the human body is absolutely miraculous. Every single system is set up like a tree. So you've got your heart at the center, and then your trunk, and then all the little branches that go out. And the heart has to pump the blood out to every single little one. And if there's too much pressure in one, it could pop. In your eyes, that's macular degeneration. In your brain, that could be dementia. In your toes, that could be, anything. Anything. It affects
Right.
everything.
This is serious, man. So people that are currently on or should be on blood pressure medication that are not taking their medication, they need to take their medication, right? They need to take their
Yes.
medication.
Yes.
So I think too, the biggest thing too is, I think when we talk about maybe overweight or obese, or when it comes down to our weight and the blood pressure is elevated, but then you have people that lose that weight and still have high blood pressure, right? So it's not always a weight thing,
It is
but
not.
it could
Sometimes
be
it's
genetic.
genetic.
Okay.
And that can be, especially African Americans are predisposed to hypertension. And again, I mentioned that I'm trying to unlearn a lot of what I learned, right? I thought, and I'm going to give an example. I'll use myself as an example, although now I have hundreds and hundreds of patients, similar stories. I thought that I had genetic high cholesterol, right? Everyone in my family has high cholesterol. I exercise 5-6 days a week. I'm a pescatarian. I thought I was healthy and that my cholesterol was just going to be high, until I learned that I never learned nutrition. And once I started to learn true nutrition, in 2 months, my cholesterol went down 50 points. After
Wow.
30 years of being a doctor, well, not 30 years of being a doctor, 1997, but then also 30 years of being an adult with with high cholesterol. And it turns
Yeah.
out that a lot of these diseases are because of our very poor nutrition. And to that point, what did I hear lately? So I've been studying nutrition and listening to all these lectures. And one of the lecturers said that the American population is 5% of the earth, but we take
Mhm.
75% of its medications.
Wow.
And what's the difference, right? What's the difference? Is in Asia, we're not supposed to eat so much rice. In Asia, that's all they eat. They're not obese. They don't have hypertension, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
In Africa,
Right.
they eat potatoes all day, all the time. That's their staple. They're not obese. They don't have hypertension
Mhm.
like we do. What do we have that they don't? Factories. Factories
Mm.
that
Mm.
put out food with ingredients that are terrible for us, and pharmaceutical companies that sell us all these meds and tell us once you're on for life. So my new favorite thing is nutrition. There's a field evolving now called nutraceuticals, where you fix things with food, and food
Okay.
is medicine. Food is poison and food is
Wow.
medicine. I have a big poster. I should have brought a visual. I have a big poster in the room I see patients in, and it says every bite you take is either fighting disease or feeding it. And on the
Wow.
fighting it
Wow.
side, you've got all the things that come from the earth. And on the feeding it side, you have all the things that come from the factories.
Wow.
This is good information.
Yes.
Um, how can we get better at this? Like, what are some suggestions? What are things that we need to either remove from our diets? Like, share what it is that you've learned on this journey
Okay.
in regards to nutrition.
Okay, so mine started with a teacher. I'm gonna try to make it short, but last January I had a teacher come in, 58-year-old
Mhm.
Black woman, overweight, sugars have gotten out of control. And I said to her, if nothing changes and by the end of the year you're gonna be on insulin. She was like, absolutely not. That's my favorite answer. Be coachable, be motivated, and take control of your own health, right? 3 months later, she comes in, she has no diabetes and she's lost 25 pounds. I was like, I'm
Wow.
sorry, that I've never seen. What is that?
Yeah.
She told me about this program she does called Eager to Motivate. I signed up that day. I've had 30 pounds to lose for 30 years, right? So I sign up, and part of the foundation of the program is nutrition. And when I started intermittent fasting and consuming mostly produce and reading ingredients, particularly on things that came out of factories, that's when I realized I started to know what I didn't know. And that's when I started to lose weight and feel healthier and more vibrant. And that's when I realized, wait a minute, I wasn't taught right? Like if it was this simple, my degree that cost more than my home should have taught me that. It didn't.
Right.
It taught me sickness and pharmaceuticals. Thanks, America.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Dr. Brown, carry on. I'm sorry. I know we have this crazy delay. I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
To answer your question, how do we start? Baby steps, right?
Yeah.
Shop. I had to change my mindset around shopping. Now I shop at Produce Junction, right? I make 50% of my diet produce and things like that. And then the rest of it is what goes with. I don't go to the grocery store for food, because one of the lectures I heard said only 30 to 40% of what's in the grocery store is actually food. The rest is chemically modified, bioengineered products.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I always heard to shop the outside of the grocery store.
Yes.
Not the in columns, not the inside, like the perimeter of the grocery store, the produce.
And when you look at it, the perimeter came from farms and the inside came from factories.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Dr. Brown, what do you eat on a typical day? What's your diet look like? Or
I eat the same thing like a 5-year-old, right? If I have time before lunch at work, I don't always. At home, of course, I do. I eat a banana, some nuts in the morning. I try not to eat till 10 or 11 because I only like to eat for 8 hours. I have a great big salad with salmon or shrimp or whatever I like on that for lunch. I try to make that the biggest meal. And then dinner, I might have, cold, rainy weather like this, I have some soup or cauliflower rice with something on it. But healthy, and I'm addicted to sugar. So pasta, bread, potatoes, rice, I don't need none of that. Sugar, I need that. Yeah.
Okay.
I save all my calories for that.
I heard that. So Dr. Brown, let me ask you this question. Why do you think our community, and probably the community at large, but I'm specifically talking about our community, why do you think we just settle for, we get diagnosed with something, we get prescribed medication, and we just, all right, I'm just going to take this for the rest of my life. Like, why do we just settle for the medication and continue to do what we've always done? Any theory behind that or thoughts behind that?
Well, we were taught that, right? Take your medicine. Yeah. You want to live, take your medicine. Our parents, our grandparents, take your medicine. And so, like I was taught, prescribe the medicine, right? Their numbers are off. I wasn't taught, talk about lifestyle, talk about how much they're moving. Muscles, your biggest organ in your whole body is your muscles. And they don't just like hold you together. These muscles, they make hormones that break down your sugars, manage your blood pressure, everything.
Yeah.
And we weren't taught that. So I think it's cultural. And then I think Delaware actually is number 48 out of 50 states with the highest maternal mortality rate. And of course, it's Black and brown women that suffer the most. It's because we have food deserts. We have something I just learned about called period poverty. Our girls can't even afford period supplies.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So it's systemic. Wow.
And
that's how, back to Miss Owens, I know that she can't, it's not okay. It's never okay for us.
Yeah.
She has cousins, right? She has baby in them somewhere. Yeah, we all do.
Sure.
Right?
For sure.
And she grew up on what we grew up on.
I want to shout out a couple people that just dropped in. Shout out to Sherelle Flagg.
Yes.
Sherelle says the best doctor in the world, period.
Yeah, I couldn't hear that shit.
You can say period.
I can't do it.
You gotta say it like this, period.
Negative.
Thanks for tuning in to Sherelle. Shout out to Beverly McGee Wilkerson.
Hey,
thank you for tuning in. Shout out to Priscilla Isabel. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, my cousin Joyce in Arkansas. Hey, cuzzo.
Yeah, guys, if you have any questions for the doctor, please post your comments so we can make sure we get your question answered. Yeah. So Dr. Brown.
Yes.
is there anything else? I guess while we're talking about this, I know that we just came off of March being Women's History Month.
Right.
And I've done work with Dr. Brown in the past, and we were talking about how heart attacks in women,
Is that
how
becoming more prevalent?
it
I feel like I don't.
it's very,
I'm trying to think if I've ever heard of a
especially in
woman
black
having a heart attack.
women.
It's always
Yeah.
men.
Yeah, but we always, the way it shows up in us, we don't, sometimes we miss it
Right.
until it's too late. So
Wow. Are you going to
you
the
know,
doctor? You get your yearlies and all the things
yeah,
that should be happening for you?
yeah, I am. I actually need to schedule now to
Yeah.
get to the doctor and get some checkups done. But I usually try to go and be on schedule with everything. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's important. I feel like black men, we go through a lot, but I feel like it's just so many
Mm-hmm.
more things that black women have to deal with. So
Oh my
I
goodness.
encourage, like
Yeah.
I have my wife has a family member who had never been to the gynecologist. We
Mm-hmm.
talking 40 plus years old. And she told me, I was like, what? How
Wow.
do you not?
Wow.
And luckily, when she finally went, everything was fine.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a never.
Up until a few years ago.
Wow.
And they were well into their 40s, maybe late 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
That's scary because that means she do mammograms or anything like
I
that?
don't think she would. I think it was an insurance thing. Yeah, I think it was a situation to where her job paid her just enough over till she couldn't get Medicaid, but she couldn't afford the insurance at the
Yeah.
job. So it kind of left you in that little area where you didn't know insurance.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is crazy.
But aren't there clinics and stuff that someone can go to if they don't? So Eli was just sharing that he knew someone, or
Yeah, my wife she has a family member. She's since gone, but she has a family member who had never been to the gynecologist, and she was like well into her 40s, and it was like an insurance thing, and she made too much for Medicaid, but she didn't make enough to be able to afford the company's medical insurance because it would kill her check. So it kept her in a real weird space to where she just didn't go to the doctor. And luckily, everything was okay when she finally went. Yeah.
but that's a long time to not. Yeah.
A long time. And according to my husband, let me preface with, my husband says that I am in my crazy conspiracy phase of life, and I sound like a crazy conspiracist. And that is by design. That is systemic and by design. What these insurance companies are doing, pricing people out of healthcare, making disease come at, that now we don't detect it at the preventable stages. Now we're detecting it later. More people are sick and dying. Systemic. Heck, me, I'm a doctor. My insurance through this small practice is so bad, right? I let my children get their care first because our deductibles are so high. And this time of year, especially, even the Medicare population, like the Medicare population, if you talk to them, it's that September on, they go into this thing I never heard of in med school called the donut hole, where you run out of money for your medicine. And a lot of people end up spacing their meds out to try to make it till January. And people like my situation, the deductibles are unaffordable. So you wait, you try to put it off until summer, closer toward the end of the year, when you have more towards your deductible and can afford to get testing done.
Wow.
Wow.
It's an industry. It's an industry. It was for profit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I always wanted to ask a doctor this question. Do you think so? There have been several like diseases that have come and gone over the last 30, 40 years, starting with HIV, and how we've slowly come around to there's medication that really it makes the virus undetectable. COVID came. They figured out something for COVID. Do you think, Doc, that there's an actual cure for cancer? And the reason we don't have access to that is because it would turn the medical industry. Now, if this is going against the code, say so. I don't want anybody. I don't want anybody trying to snatch you up in a van later on tonight. If this goes against the code, that's fine. I respect it. But do you think that there's an actual cure that we just don't have access to because the medical industry will lose money?
I was trained that that's a crazy people talk, right? And now that I'm in this phase of my life, It's definitely possible. I've seen so much, and it's scary.
Yeah.
And, look at TV. We're advertising chemo. The hell? Right? Like, who
Yeah.
does that? It's not even ethical. And so yeah, I have my thoughts on that. And I don't think you're wrong. I think we can get a man on the moon, we can cure cancer. You know what I mean? Like, and
Right.
all
Yeah,
the
for
money
sure.
in these pharmaceutical companies. Come on.
Yeah. We have some comments and questions. Eli, you want to read Beverly's?
So yes, Beverly Wilkerson said, she says, I had cervical cancer. I can't see.
I had cervical cancer and surgery in December of 2021. January 2022, I had chemo and radiation for 6 weeks. I immediately went into menopause, and I'm going through a lot of depression and exhaustion. I'm afraid of estrogen therapy. What can I do? My oncologist put me on hormone therapy, which were like anxiety pills, made me feel worse. Do you have any suggestions?
First of all, Beverly, congratulations on being a survivor, right?
Yes.
Yes, for
That's strength,
sure.
that is fortitude, and
Absolutely.
congratulations on getting through that. And second of all, my condolences for being put into surgical menopause, because boo, I'm in natural menopause, and boo, right? The
Yeah.
hot flashes, the brain fog, the anxiety, the depression, the hair, the bladder, the insomnia, the what? So I
Yes.
just happened to have done this whole menopause awareness event with Sherelle Flagg and her company, Pretty Moody, who, small plug, does have products out, natural products to help with those kind of things. And I think that, and I have a respect for not wanting hormones. I don't either, and I don't,
Mm.
and I have a lot of the symptoms that people with surgical menopause have. And I think, again, educating yourself in menopause, perimenopause, the symptoms, so that you know that you're not crazy. This is real and it affects us. And one of the things I learned in doing all this research about menopause is that in Britain, menopause is considered what it is, not a disease, but a phase of life. And in every workplace, it's just like maternity leave, there's menopause leave. They have to have fans at every station. You get intermittent FMLA. Like, it's a process that you go through that affects
What?
actually your productivity. Yeah, and they found that by having all this in place, the companies are actually more productive. The employees are happier and they feel valued and heard. And I find with menopause, a lot of us just feel undervalued, not heard, useless, and
Yep.
kind of put out to pasture, right? Go get a younger, newer version who's still got it. Right? So you're not crazy. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of different things. There's a lot of natural things that can help. Black cohosh, a little bit of soy, exercise. Again, let me not go over what uh, I'm losing it.
Sherelle.
Shay, what you said earlier. No,
Oh,
Shay, about
okay.
the women in heart disease.
Yes.
Estrogen is a protector for us. And when we lose it, we become at equal risk for heart disease as men. Not to mention, like I said earlier, our vascular tree is a tree. The blood vessels are like a tree, and our trees tend to be smaller. Picture us like little bonsai trees, and men like great big oak trees. So heart disease, and that's a vessel this little bitty big that gets clogged and causes a heart attack in a woman doesn't produce enough symptoms to get that, what we were taught. Oh my God, I'm having a heart attack. That's a man thing.
Right.
So women get these little microvascular events that we just chalk up our fatigue to. Oh, I didn't get enough sleep. Oh, I'm out of shape. I ran out of breath when I did XYZ. No, those are our heart disease symptoms. And that's why checks every year for everything are very important. I hope
Yes, for
that answered your
sure.
question.
Yes, yes, yes. I want to just read a comment. Deborah Marshall Kemp. I think it was in reference to what we were saying about not having access to treatment. It seems to disappear when I want to.
No, it's right there. It says, yes, when I was younger, many of us African American young women used Planned Parenthood for women health care because it was all we could afford. Now, many places are defunded.
Yeah, I'm back on systemic, and right, because they need more. This is where I'm really getting shot one day. I'm not going to put that out there, but I'm just saying, right? They need more workers. And too many of us are choosing parenthood or not, right? Are choosing not to have 8, 9, 10 kids to work. And so they're doing all these bans on abortion and birth control and all these things, and they're defunding the places that kept us from unwanted pregnancy.
So,
That's my
Dr.
take.
Brown, before I know we're getting a little short. I want to just ask you so I'm a man, I'm 50 plus. Any advice to, especially Black men? We're stubborn. We don't want to go to the doctor. Any
Really?
advice you can give to men in our community and to motivate and encourage them to do what needs to be done? Get those yearly checkups, get that prostate exam. And I hate it, but it's a necessary evil. Any advice you can give to Black men out here about their health and what they should be doing?
What do you want for your future? Right? Prostate cancer hurts. You can't pee. You can't have sex. Right?
Oh.
And there are men. Has anybody seen Ernie Hudson? I wish we could pull up a picture of him really quick. Ernie Hudson is a Black man that was in Ghostbusters. He is 78 years old, looking every bit of 50, because he takes care of himself. And we all want that. Men, women, right? Do it for your children. Do it for yourself. Maybe you've been tied down by these kids, right? They're going to grow up and you're going to have your freedom back, your life. What do you want it to look like?
Right. Yeah,
As long
absolutely.
as I can have sex, that's gonna keep me going.
And I don't think you're alone in that, Eli. I think many men would agree.
I'm going.
Sherelle Flag says, while yam is great, I have natural patches as well that boost magnesium.
Yes. Yes.
And other goodies that help. So
I have
you
used.
can actually check out that at prettymoody.com. Her link is in the chat. So if you're looking for some natural products that will help, you know, Sherelle Flag is out here doing the work for menopause. Dr. Brown has been working with her as well. Awesome conference last weekend. So guys, go to prettymoody.com and get that information. I'm sure you'll be able to find something that will be helpful for sure. Yeah.
And I can attest.
Menopause is no joke. It's no joke. Go ahead, Dr. Brown.
I wear those patches. Those patches get me through many a hot night, and they are very helpful. And she has daytime patches too. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I need to carry my little self over to prettymoody.com too. Yeah. So, as we're wrapping up, the message tonight is about living your healthiest life, right? As a lifestyle. This is what we want to do. So, can you wrap us up by just throwing some tips out there that comes off the top of your head? What is something that we have to start implementing or doing or changing that our audience could walk away with tonight?
Thank you. So I would say take care of you and be honest with yourself. I eat healthy. No, really, eat healthy. Eat your vegetables, eat your fruits, drink your water, move your body. And a hard job, an active job, is not a replacement for regular exercise. And the best exercise in the world is whatever you enjoy, because you can do that until you die. And I want you to be healthy until you die, a long time from now.
That's good. That's good. Thank you so much, Dr. Brown. I mean, the information has been very informative.
Yes.
We would love to have you to come back. Because this conversation can go on and on and on. And I know that we need this because our community needs it, right? There's not enough platforms where people have the opportunity to actually reach out and touch someone like you and get their questions answered. I think that if we are more informed as a community, now we have the information, then we can now make better choices for ourselves. But if we don't have the information, like you said, even you had to unlearn some things that, you find out all these years I've been, maybe I need to undo some things, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. We all need to do that. But would you come back to the Rebirth and talk to us again? And
thank you. Yes, I would absolutely love to.
Awesome.
And can I just say
Awesome.
something to my
Mm-hmm.
primary care physician before we
Yes,
go?
you sure
I just
can.
want to thank you. And let me just tell you this. When we were looking for a new doctor and I found out you were black, I didn't ask any more questions. I said she could have got her credentials from Walgreens. We going to her. So we're gonna figure it out. And if her credentials
Yeah.
came from there, we're gonna work through it together. But I just want to thank you, man, because you've helped me a lot and I'm back on my journey. You had me right for a minute. I fell off, not you, but I'm listening, just so you know. So we're gonna work this out. And I appreciate you a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And we're all human. We all fall off, but we get back up again.
Amen.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. And we will definitely have you back again.
Thank you.
And continue to, spread the word and your message. And however we can support, please let us know. Thank you so much. Hey, I look forward to the DR with you in May.
Me too.
So Dr. Brown and I we're doing we're both speaking at a women's retreat this May, and we're excited about that. I think we have over 50 women that's going to be joining us at the Dominican Republic, Punta Cana. So we're very excited about that. She's going to be doing the body, the health, and I'm going to be doing the mind. So
So y'all call it a
yes,
retreat. That's what the
yes,
guys gotta
it
start calling
is.
it when they go to the DR. It's a men's
Whatever.
retreat.
Anyway,
That's
Dr.
what
Brown,
kind of
thank you so much, Dr. Brown. Have a great rest of the night.
You too. Thank
Oh wow, guys. Man, it's been a very informative show tonight. I
Yes.
really appreciate you guys tuning in and also sharing your comments and your questions. We're going to have Dr. Brown back because I mean there's so many areas that we left untouched that we can definitely elaborate more on, especially when
Absolutely.
it comes down to
To
black
the men.
men's health. And
Absolutely.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Brown. I definitely appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
It's all right with me.
So again, if you want to share this video, or if you want to watch this video back, tonight's live, make sure you're following us on all social media outlets at Rebirth You Podcast. You can listen to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts at. That's iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, all of that. We are there. So make sure that you share, you like, and subscribe, guys. Subscribe. We won't ask you to do anything else but subscribe. That
Yes.
supports us tremendously. If you want us to continue to bring you content, bring you people like Dr. Brown, it's going to be important that you support what we're doing. All right?
All right.
All right.
Have a blessed
Awesome.
night, y'all. Thank
Have
you
a
for
blessed
joining
night,
us.
guys. See you next Monday at 7.